petrol tanker explosion in the Agay local government area of Niger State. The petrol tanker reportedly collided head-on with a trailer truck carrying travelers and cattle from Wudil, Kano State. The Director General of the Niger State Emergency Management Agency, Abdullahi Baba Arab, disclosed this in a statement on Sunday. He said the incident occurred around 12:30 a.m. on Sunday along the Lapai-Agay Road, approximately 2 kilometers from Dendo community in Agay local government area. He reported that over 50 cattle were also burnt alive and 2 other vehicles, a crane truck and a pickup van, were caught in the fire. The NSEMA statement says that NSEMA has received a report of a deadly tanker explosion that occurred on Sunday, 8 September 2024 at about 12:30 a.m. along Lapai-Agay Road, 2 kilometers from Dendo community in Agay local government area. A mass burial was later conducted for the 48 victims at the Agay local government area of Niger State. The National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control has alerted Nigerians to the activities of a faith-based organization, Christ Mercy Land Delivery Ministries, led by Prophet Jeremiah Fufein, using the agency's name to deceive the unsuspecting public. NAFDAC, in a statement on Sunday signed by its Director General, Professor Mojisola Adeyeye, noted that none of the products advertised and sold are registered with the agency. He said that NAFDAC wishes to alert the public on the activities of a faith-based organization, Christ Mercy Land Delivery Ministries, that uses NAFDAC name to deceive the unsuspecting public. Recently, NAFDAC has been inundated with petitions from concerned citizens about Senior Prophet Jeremiah Omoto Fufein of Christ Mercy Land Delivery Ministries, KM 5 Efron Sapele Road, Delta State, on a miracle water and miracle soap being advertised with healing and miracle claims and sold to unsuspecting members of the public by the spiritual ministry. The minister showcased the use of miracle water and miracle soap on social media to heal barrenness. He claimed that the women could carry twins if they used the soap. He openly told his congregation that the soap is NAFDAC registered. Ahead of the imminent cabinet shake-up, President Bola Tinubu has been advised to come up with a formidable economic team with focus and solutions to the lingering economic crisis. A public affairs analyst and a United Kingdom-based legal practitioner, Barrister Niyi Aborishade, while speaking on the state of the nation, admitted that the economic policies of the Tinubu-led administration has not been consistent since its inception. He maintained that if the cabinet is not working as expected, change is necessary, adding that though there are some ministries like Power, among others, that had improved tremendously in the last 1 year.
If the cabinet is not working, there could be need. There are some areas that there are changes. I have to say this. As a matter of fact, when it comes to electricity, there has been a tremendous change from what it used to be. Even those places where there is lack of electricity before, they are at least they can do more, of course, but it's getting better. So some areas are not bad, but any minister that is not performing very well should be removed, and there should be people should be considered for position of merit. If you want to choose a new cabinet, it should be people who can make positive change, who can do it, not because of a quota or whatever. We need people who can deliver.
On the state of the nation, he admitted that Nigerians are going through hell, occasioned by the arbitrary increase in the price of fuel, stressing that the masses could no longer afford major staple food items as a result of the inflation. He therefore appealed to the Tinubu-led administration to go back to the drawing board and find lasting solutions to the lingering economic crisis.
I pity our people now in Nigeria. They are suffering. The suffering is too much. There is hunger in the land and starvation in the land. The unprecedented fuel increase is nothing to write home about. Everything is now going up. The government has failed woefully at this time. They need to go back to the drawing board to do something to alleviate the suffering of our people. And this is not something that you can do by sending money, by turning our people into beggars. The policy has to change. When whatever you are doing, that's not bringing positive change.
Amidst the state of the nation's economy, Nigerian parents have been urged to value and prioritize their children's educational development. A group treasured point of light in partnership with the Spouses Forum, Nigeria Society of Engineers, Abeokuta branch made this known at the 2024 back-to-school outreach in Ogun State. Correspondent John Felix completes the story.
No fewer than 450 primary and secondary school students in Akianli community of Ewekoro local government area of Ogun State have been empowered in anticipation of the upcoming school resumption. As part of its back-to-school outreach program, the foundation gave out essential items to the students, including school bags, shoes, lunch bags, food flasks, water bottles, and stationery. The president of the foundation emphasized that the effort was intended to encourage a child back to school in spite of the nation's current economic situation.
Okay, so today we're reaching out to 450 children of the Akiale community. And we're doing this as a means of encouragement, to encourage a child back to school. The economy is really, really very wonderful. Many things are actually discouraging. We have people dropping out of school randomly. But in our own little way, we want to encourage a child back to school. And then we're doing this for this community. Parents, please put priority on the education of your children. No matter how hard the economy is, we will still eat. We're still going to, have to do one or two things. Some will even still prioritize partying and buying a be over their child's education. But please, we want to send the message across to you. Do well to prioritize and value your child's education. It won't cost you anything, really. Okay, for children, going back to school, don't focus on the limitation, but look ahead, look on the bright side. We have people who didn't, have school shoes going to school as they were growing up, but today, they're engineers, they're governors, they're even presidents. So you can be anything you set out to be.
On our part, President, Spouses Forum, Nigerian Society of Engineers, Abeokuta branch, said the Spouses Forum decided to partner with the foundation because of the premium Spouses of Engineers place on education.
We decided to partner with the foundation because we see education. Education has shaped the life of both ourselves and our husbands, which are engineers. And with that, we need to empower the society. We should give the children more empowerment so that they can have a brighter future and they can as well be educated, because we need more female engineers. Though it's not only female engineers, they're both male and female, but because they feel the profession is mainly for men, so they think it's just men, it's just boys that should go into the field, which no, it is not. It is for both the male and the female children. So that's the reason why we want to empower the children. They should see education as something important. Obviously, if you are educated, the way you are going to do things will be different from someone that is not.
Happy, I feel happy and excited to help to solve the things I need in my school, and it will be more easier to pay for the things I need. I thank the foundation really well for helping, for assisting me.
Highlight of the event was a presentation of scholarships to deserving children ahead the new session. From Akianli in Ogun State, John Felix reporting for Galaxy Television News.
Former chairman of the National Universities Commission, NUC, Professor Peter Okebukola, has clarified that the standard of Nigerian education is not declining, contrary to popular belief. Okebukola said that the standard of education as defined by the curriculum and syllabus remains intact, but acknowledged that the quality of education is deteriorating due to various factors. He made these remarks in Ado-Ekiti at the 70th birthday lecture in honor of former Ekiti State Governor Segun Oni. He praised the celebrant for championing digital literacy in the state, noting that his initiatives have set a standard for subsequent administrations. Former Deputy Governor of the state and former Senator representing Ekiti South Senatorial District, Biodun Olujimi, also lauded Oni, describing him as a humble and hardworking individual whose vision as governor was to make education accessible and inclusive for all Ekiti residents.
We're looking at quality now. Quality is coming down. Quality is depressing. Inadequacies of facilities and inadequacies in teacher quality, number and motivation, and severe shortage of facilities have converged to depress quality. The paradox is that in spite of this perceived depressed quality, which attracts derogation for the Nigerian public, the products from our school system, our secondary schools and universities, are generally well sought after in other countries. In Nigeria, will rise again.
It's not that the standard has fallen, but the quality has fallen. And quality, of course, is in front of so many parameters, especially infrastructures. We need government to put more infrastructures, and you agree that that is the way to go, and that's the only way to prevent Nigeria's education from totally collapsing.
I am happy that he's 70. We come a long way together. We were together at the Delta Steel, Ome Alaja, where we were workers. And so I know that he's always been a thoughtful, straightforward, easygoing man who prides himself on integrity. And I wish him well. I know he has done well for himself, but I know that going forward, he needs to put a few things in proper shape, especially on the political scene, for him to leave his legacy in the sands of time.
Extend goodness to all the people that had extended goodness to me in the past. That God will give me the opportunity to be good to them. And that for me is the greatest achievement that God can give me now, when I'm now 70.
You're still on to Galaxy Primetime News, and coming up next. The Nigerian Immigration Service reveals that no fewer than 61 foreign nationals were deported from the country in August 2024. Details of these and more will come to you shortly. Please stay with us. We're glad to have you back. Now, for more updates and latest news, please visit our website www.galaxytvonline.com. Connect with us on our X handle at Galaxy TV. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/GalaxyTVNews. You can follow and interact with us on our Facebook page, facebook.com/GalaxyTV. Don't forget to follow and tag us on our Instagram page at Galaxy TV. You can also avail our eyewitness feature via WhatsApp. If you have breaking news around you, simply share a story by sending short clips or videos of the news on 018-666-669. Our social media platforms are user-friendly and can always accommodate your live updates and comment, as you can easily scan our IG QR code. Chief Samuel Olu Alabi, the Olomo of Enrile, celebrates his 60th birthday with his family, friends and well-wishers who all testified to an exemplary life he has lived so far. Galaxy's Iwebami Salako, who was there at the event, tells us more in this report.
Birthdays, such beautiful days to celebrate one's existence on this material land of living. For some people, it calls for sober reflection of past years and resolve to take some actions. But here is how 60 feels for the celebrant, Chief Samuel Oluwalabi, the Oluomo of Erinle.
You should be mindful of the reputation they create, because a person whose name is soiled, his life is soiled. You cannot repair what is dented. You should be careful, because whatever you do in your youthful days will call back on your integrity in future. Everything you do, you must know that one day people might go back to records and tell the whole world you are not who should be celebrated. So that is my advice. The youth should be careful. Everything that glitter cannot be gold, and nothing that is tough will last forever. They should persevere and trust in God, that God that created them will not confront them with problems that they won't be able to surmount. It might be difficult seemingly, but at the end of it all, it will be resolved.
Muhammad Ali once said, "Service to others is the rent you pay for your room here on earth." It could be inferred that Chief Alabi has paid and is paying in advance for his space on earth, as what matters to him most of all is the impact he has on people.
The best achievement I've been able to do is giving my children the quality of the education I wasn't opportune to have. And then one or two ways I've been able to impact on the life of others. Those are these just two things.
The birthday was well attended by family, friends, well-wishers, creme de la creme society, royalties, even a representative of Kwara State Governor, who all had wonderful things to say about Chief Alabi. Some presented gifts to him.
Kwara State Governor Abdurrahman Abdulrazak sends his happy congratulations to Chief Samuel Oluwalabi, the Oluomo of Erinle, as he celebrates his 60th birthday today, September 7, 2024.
Samuel is a good man, a great leader, even in my state. I pray for him, for his long life, good health.
He's a wonderful guy, down to earth, ever ready to help, even at the expense of his own comfort. He has shown that on a number of times. So I pray that God will give him long life and prosperity in good health.
A lot has been said about him, but I want to add that it has been said that he's a philanthropist, he's a cheerful giver, he's a community leader by excellence. He's also a God-fearing person. He loves people. He loves the entire community.
I wish the celebrant well, and may all guests who have come from far places get to their destination safely.
Chief Alabi's family are undeniably the happiest, with their faces sporting glows and basking in joy of being able to celebrate with him.
My good wishes for him is to wish him happy birthday and a happy return, that she will live long and shall be well with him. And I pray that we arise and shine in the name of Jesus. And let me pray for him in pleasant person in the mighty name of Jesus. And so shall it be in Jesus' name.
My father-in-law is exceptional. He has loved me from day one, right? And he has been a mentor to me. He has been a friend to me, and even up till now, I'm married to his next daughter, and he doesn't even treat me like his son-in-law. He treats me like his own son.
Iribami Salako, Galaxy TV News, Lagos.
No fewer than 61 foreign nationals were deported by the Nigerian Immigration Service from the country in August 2024. This is as the new visa policy facilitated a total of 8,352 visas on arrival for travelers in the month under review. The figures were contained in a report by the service detailing the NIA's achievements for August. In the report, the reason for deporting the foreign nationals was to address the issue of irregular migration in the country. The report partly reads, the NIS eased out 61 foreign nationals to address irregular migration. The new visa policy facilitated 8,352 visas on arrival. This is, however, not the first time the immigration will be deporting foreign nationals from the country. Between 2020 and 2022, no fewer than 70 foreign nationals were deported from the country. Honorable Ahmed Tijani Mustafa, Chairman, Inter-Party Advisory Council for Nigeria IPAC in Kaduna State, has said that IPAC is established to facilitate dialogue, protect the interests of political entities, and uphold the principles of transparency and fairness in the electoral process. Mustafa spoke during the IPAC General Assembly and inauguration of steering committees which was held in Kaduna State. The event was attended by the leadership and members of all the political parties that constituted IPAC, officials of the state, Independent National Electoral Commission, the Independent Electoral Commission, INEC, and other stakeholders. The Kaduna State General Assembly and steering committees inauguration for elected executives of Inter-Party Advisory Council of Nigeria Kaduna State and the 19 political parties chairmen and the representatives were all in attendance and promised to work together for the growth of democracy.
In governance, those strategies that you think if you could have won the election, this is what you bring to the people of Kaduna State. We say, please let us tap into those things because it is about the people. IPAC can do inter and intra-party conflicts so that they can resolve it. And I was making the point, that within IPAC General Assembly, they should not allow themselves to go to pages of newspaper criticizing one thing or the other. They should use that arm of the ADR, the alternative dispute resolution, in resolving intra and intra-party issues. That's what I
thank you for making IPAC strong, united. We can demonstrate the strength of our collective resolve to overcome adversity by strengthening our political parties and deepening internal democracy. IPAC in Kaduna State is now a united team, and with your collective advice, suggestions, and wise counsel, we will definitely recreate a new IPAC.
We are on our toes to ensure that we conduct the election as contained on our timetable, 19th of October 2024. We want to adhere to the law that says after 3 years there should be new representative. We don't want to have a vacuum. We don't want elected representative to hand over to caretaker. We want elected representative to hand over to elected representative.
We are pleading to political parties to establish an internal democracy. Let me recall you back to 2015 and 2019. Most of the court cases in this country have been as a result of internal party crisis.
Benue State House of Assembly has approved the sum of 6,644,778,900 naira for the conduct of local government elections. The House gave the approval during plenary presided by the Speaker, Honorable Aldona Doja. The Governor had in a correspondence sent to the Assembly, which was read on the floor of the House by the Speaker, sought for the approval of the supplementary budget for the conduct of the October 5th council elections. The supplementary budget reflects Governor Aliya's administration's commitment towards ensuring hitch-free and credible elections for Benue State. Ogun State Deputy Governor Engineer Noimot Salako Oyedele has urged the Criterion, a professional Muslim women organization, to be more strategic and engage in different advocacy programs to make the organization more attractive to young Muslim sisters. Engineer Salako, who made this known while playing host to the national executives and members of the Criterion from different states who were on a court visit to her office, expressed joy that professional women had brought themselves together to share ideas, support each other, and ready to give back to the society. She noted that there were many similar organizations competing with the Criterion for more memberships, urging them to initiate programs aimed at developing an organization and supporting the needy. Earlier, National Amira of the Criterion Al-Haja Medinat Akani said the organization was formed 40 years ago by 6 Muslim women who were actively involved in Muslim Student Society of Nigeria and willing to continue after graduation, adding that the organization had over 1,000 members in different parts of Nigeria, including the Federal Capital Territory. The Rivers Elders and Leadership Forum has called on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to call the FCT Minister Nyesom Wike to order of a statement capable of igniting crisis in the state. The FCT Minister Nyesom Wike had made the comment on 31st of August 2024 while reacting to the PDP governor supporting Governor Siminalayi Fubara. Speaking on behalf of Rivers Elders and Leadership Forum, former governor of the state and chairman of the forum, Rufus Ada George, reminded Wike of the importance of the office he holds and the responsibility expected of him by the Nigerian state.
We at this forum believe that the above statement and threats consciously made by Wike to put fire in those states are callous, mischievous, unacceptable, and clearly undermines our democracy and national security. The Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria guarantees the right to association and free speech to the extent that it is not injurious to the Nigerian state.
The elders appealed to the minister to join hands in quenching the fire rather than creating new ones. He called on the president to order the Inspector General of Police to remove his men at the local government council secretariat across the state for effective administrative services. The elders urged President Tinubu to reflect on their concerns and take necessary actions to ensure unity, peace and progress in Rivers State and Nigeria as a whole.
Unimaginable for Wike to assume that the current and future political structure and generations of leaders in Rivers State belong to him. He should therefore stop misleading the public with the false narrative of my structure. To put it squarely, Chief Wike served as council chairman under His Excellency Peter Odele's administration. He was boy to Senator John Azota Mbata, who introduced him to Chief Rufus Ada George years back as an intending councillorship aspirant. The political structure in Rivers State belongs to Rivers people.
And now we move on to Tracking the Week.
Welcome to Tracking the week. On Monday, Justice Emeka Nwite of the Federal High Court ordered that 9 of the 10 airbag governance prospects be remanded at Kuje Prison till September 11. Also, one of the suspects, a pregnant lady, was remanded at Suleja Correctional Service to the next adjourned date. The ruling followed the arraignment of the suspects by the federal government following the last month airbag governance protest across the country. The suspects were arraigned on 6-count charge bordering on treason and inciting to mutiny, destabilizing the country, intimidating the president, and destruction of public property. When the charge was read to them, the suspects pleaded not guilty. Counsel to the defendant moved the oral application for bail on the ground that they are presumed innocent, but was countered by the prosecution counsel, stressing that they were charged for offense with capital punishment. The defense counsel prayed the court to remand the suspects with the police. Justice Nwite, in his ruling, adjourned hearing of the bail application to the 11th of September and noted that the 9 male suspects be remanded at Kuje Correctional Center and the female suspect at Suleja Correctional Service that has facilities for females. Still on Monday, the federal government commenced the deployment of its compressed natural gas initiative with the launch of 20 buses in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital. Speaking at the event, Program Director of the Presidential CNG Initiative, Michael Oluwagbemi, stressed that the federal government was determined to revolutionize the use of gas to drive the nation's transport system, as well as close the transportation gap through a more sustainable mass transit scheme. He said with Monday's launch of 20 compressed natural gas buses to Oyo State, other states across the nation and FCT will start receiving theirs as from Tuesday. The federal government commenced the initiative from Ibadan. Oluwagbemi stressed that the buses seek to reduce energy costs and mitigate the impact of fuel subsidy removal on Nigerians. Program Director of the Presidential CNG Initiative stated that the Asian city is poised to reduce air pollution, decrease dependence on petroleum products, and mitigate the impact of fuel price fluctuations. On Tuesday, the Nigerian Labour Congress expressed dismay over increment in the price of premium motor spirit, also referred to as fuel, saying it's a betrayal on Nigerians, especially the working class. President of the NLC, Comrade Joe Ajero, made the revelations on Tuesday, saying part of the reason why the union accepted 70,000 naira minimum wage was as a result of an understanding that there would be no further increase in the price of fuel. Recall the Nigerians woke up to a sudden increase in the price of fuel from the official price of 617 naira to 897 naira per litre. The development, which has thrown many Nigerians into confusion, prompted a reaction from the Apex Labour Union, which has been entangled in terrorism-related crisis with the Nigerian police force. He threatened that in the coming days, the appropriate organs of the Congress will be meeting to take a proper decision, which will be made public. Still on Tuesday, Nigeria and the People's Republic of China signed a series of bilateral agreements to boost developmental and economic activities between the countries. At a brief ceremony held in Beijing, China, both President Tinubu and his Chinese counterpart Xi Jinping expressed optimism that the agreement will foster collaboration that will improve businesses in trade, construction, communication, and other sectors of their economies. President Tinubu's official visit precedes his participation in the 2024 summit of the Forum on China-Africa Cooperation, which is scheduled to hold from September 4 to 6, 2024. Addressing a gathering of Nigerian and Chinese officials, President Tinubu announced the elevation of Nigeria-China ties to that of a comprehensive strategic partnership. The president said relations between China and Nigeria have indeed lasted for over half a century and should be further threatened to advance their trade and economic development programs. The leaders also agreed to build a high-level Nigeria-China community with a shared future. On Wednesday, the National Orientation Agency partnered the United Nations Children's Fund and the Nigerian Population Commission to embark on the National Birth Registration Social Mobilization Campaign in Ogun State. The synergy to increase awareness was made in Abeokuta at a news conference heralding the initiative. In our remarks, the State Director of NOA, Olufunke Salako, said the drive is focused on registering all children between the age of 0 to 5 years and providing them with a national identification number for free. She stressed the birth registration is the first legal acknowledgement of a child's existence, which is essential for safeguarding their rights and privileges. UNICEF Social and Behavioral Consultant Dr. Peter Oba said the agency is committed to sponsoring all programs that directly and indirectly affect children. He disclosed that upcoming measles vaccination program is scheduled to commence on September 19 to September 25, advising parents to vaccinate their children 0 to 59 months. Correspondent John Felix reported that parents and guardians are urged to visit the nearest registration center of the NPC to register their children. Also on Wednesday, the Nigerian police force called on the wanted British national Andrew Wayne to come out of his hiding and surrender to the police for questioning if his hands are clean. This is also as police waved aside the claim by Wayne that no invitation was extended to him before declaring him wanted, pointing out that the police invited him several times before declaring him wanted. Addressing journalists in Abuja, police spokesman ACP Muyiwa Adejobi said Wayne was contacted many times and refused to show up even after his workshop was invaded. Adejobi insisted that some offences had been established against Wayne, adding that his accomplices have been arraigned in court. The FBRO said the Zoom interrogation suggested by Wayne would not be accepted by the police based on the gravity of the allegations preferred against him. On Thursday, the Controller General of the Nigerian Customs Service, Bashir Adeniyi, has disclosed the seizure of illicit goods, military camouflage, and other illicit drugs worth 31.2 billion naira by the Area 2 Command of the service on a port in Rivers State. The Controller General disclosed this at the Onesi port in Rivers State while displaying the seized illegally smuggled goods in 12 to 40-feet containers. He said the seizures were made in strict compliance with custom laws, particularly concerning concealment, false declaration, and the importation of prohibited items. The Controller General, who expressed delight, said the repeated incident of smuggling of illicit goods through the port was of grave concern to the nation's security. Adeniyi condemned the continued violation of import guidelines by some individuals who were engaged in the route for illicit businesses, as he declared a 3-month emergency protocol at Onne Port to check the trend. He also urged the public to contribute their quota to security through information sharing. Still on Thursday, as part of ensuring a holistic approach towards the provision of effective palliative for flood victims across the country, the National Economic Council called for more collaboration and planning among the subnational government. Arising from its latest meeting, which was presided over by Vice President Kashim Shettima, the Council reconstituted the Flood Committee, which has governors of Kogi, Bayelsa, Oyo, Ebonyi, Jigawa, and Bauchi as members. Briefing State House correspondent after the meeting, Governor of Nasarawa State Abdullahi Sule explained that all the state government have been given to Monday next week to submit details of the damage caused by the recent flooding in their states. Also at the meeting, they were in attendance the founder of Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, Bill Gates, and chairman of Aliga Dangote Foundation, with a robust discourse on the state of nutrition in the country. Minister of Health Professor Ali Pate hinted that NEC has agreed to set up a food and nutrition security task force at the national and subnational levels towards ensuring that acute nutrition is addressed. Meanwhile, following the recent spate of security challenges across the country, discussions surrounding the establishment of state police was reconsidered. On Friday, Minister of State Petroleum Heniken Lokpobere said the reason of petroleum products in the country to be able to meet with demands of Nigerians. As such, there should be no panic buying. The minister hinted this after meeting with Vice President Kashim Shettima at the Asu Villa. While expressing President Bola Tinubu's concern about the ongoing experience of Nigerians over the high cost of the product, the minister said it is important for citizens to know that the government is not in business of fixing prices of petroleum products. He expressed confidence that though the price may be higher in some parts of the country than others, but between now and the weekend, there will be availability of products across the length and breadth of the country. The Executive Director at the Nigerian Mainstream Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, Mugo Kalu Koa, said the regulatory effort now geared towards stabilizing supply, with the resultant impact that it will be positive also on the stability of price. To that objective, it said the regulator is ensuring that there is increased operating hours from all loading depot, while vessels are being cleared promptly on the extended hours where safety can permit. Lastly, on Friday, the Federal Ministry of Education clarified that the ministry has not stopped students who are not up to 18 years old from writing the West Africa Senior School Certificate Examination and the National Examination Council exams. The Minister of Education, Professor Tahir Memman, represented by the Minister of State of Education, Dr. Yusuf Sunano, made the declaration in Abuja on Friday while fielding questions from journalists at an event to mark the 2024 International Literacy Day (ILD). Correspondent Kolojo reported that the minister said that the public misconception and misinterpretation of what was said was highly disappointing. He said that the minister was actually speaking on the 18 years entry age into the tertiary institution as was practiced in the 334 system of education. Speaking on the International Literacy Day, Sunano underscored the critical role of literacy in fostering mutual understanding, peace and social economic development. He reaffirmed the federal government's commitment to addressing literacy challenges through the Education for Renewed Roadmap 2024 to 2027. On his part, the Executive Secretary, National Commission for Mass Literacy, Adult and Non-Formal Education, NMEC, Professor Simon Akpama, reaffirmed the Commission's dedication to integrating multilingual education into schools' literacy programs. Meanwhile, UNESCO's country representative reechoed that literacy remained a fundamental human right, hence the need to create a just, peaceful and sustainable society. And that's it on Tracking the Week.
And now we'll move over to foreign news.
This is news from the international scene. 3 Israeli men have been shot dead at a border point between Jordan and the occupied West Bank, Israeli officials say. A gunman approached the Allenby Bridge crossing from the Jordanian side in a truck that got out and opened fire. The Israel Defense Forces said. Security personnel eliminated the gunman and the IDF checked the truck over for signs of explosives, a statement said. Jordan says it is investigating the incident, which happened in an Israeli-controlled area where Jordanian vehicles offload goods entering the West Bank. The border point has now been closed from both sides. An Israeli official told newsmen that those killed had been security guards who were not part of the army or police. Video footage showed the attacker walking to the terminal and firing his weapon 3 times before he was shot to death. A Jordanian border official told newsmen that at least 24 Jordanian truck drivers in the offloading area had been detained by Israeli military for investigation. All of Israel's land crossing with Jordan have been closed after the incident, the Israeli Airport Authority said. The Allenby, the only official crossing point between the West Bank and Jordan. Allenby Bridge crossing, also known as the King Hussein Bridge, lies about halfway between Amman and Jerusalem and is the only official crossing point between the West Bank and Jordan. It is also the only entry point to the West Bank and does not go through Israel. Jordan and Israel maintain close security ties, and dozens of trucks cross the Jordan daily to supply goods to both the West Bank and Israel. Tens of thousands of Israeli protesters took to the street in a new wave of protest to press Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to sign a deal with Hamas to free captives held in Gaza. An estimated 750,000 people hit the street across Israel, including Tel Aviv and Haifa, as well as the Kakar Junction area near Haifa, according to local media reports. The protesters have been calling on the government to agree to a ceasefire deal to free dozens of captives in Gaza. The recovery of 6 captives' body last week has reignited the anger against Netanyahu, who has insisted on a military solution to the issue. But most of the captives have been freed through dialogue. At least 105 captives were freed as part of a truce last November. Hamas's demand for a ceasefire and swapping of captives with Palestinian prisoners have been rejected by Netanyahu. Israel estimates more than 100 captives are still being held in Gaza, some of whom are believed to be killed. Hundreds of protesters blocked main road in Tel Aviv and Haifa, leading to clashes with the police and arrests, according to newsmen, which noted that demonstrations on Saturday were among the largest protests the country has ever seen since October 7, 2023. At least 3 students have been injured after a fire broke out at a girls' boarding school in central Kenya's Isiolo's town on Saturday, the Red Cross says. It comes after the death of at least 21 children in a fire at a boarding school in Nyeri, also in central Kenya, at about 11 p.m. local time on Thursday. A Kenyan police spokesperson said the blaze destroyed dormitories at Isiolo Girls High School before being contained. The cause of the blaze is unknown, but there have been numerous fires in boarding schools in Kenya in recent years, prompting national concern about safety standards. The Kenyan Red Cross said 3 children have suffered minor injuries and had received psychological first aid. Police, fire and rescue squad could be seen using flashlights to search for any students and salvageable property in the destroyed dormitories. Meanwhile, DNA testing will begin on Monday to identify the bodies of children who died in the fire at Hillside Indrasha Academy on Thursday night. Officials say 17 children remain unaccounted for, with some parents and relatives camping at the school to demand answers. President William Ruto has declared 3 days of mourning starting on Monday for the victims of the fire. The cause of the fire is still unclear. Investigators should assess whether or not the tragedy may have resulted from negligence and/or recklessness, the chief prosecutor said in a statement. Still on the international scene, Indian rescue workers have pulled out 8 bodies from a wreckage of a 3-story building in the northern city of Lucknow, reports said, with the state chief minister calling the death heartbreaking. The press trust of an Indian news agency broadcast image of piles of concrete and set rescue teams with heavy digging machines searching for bodies on Sunday. BTI quoted officials as saying 8 bodies had been put out and 28 people were injured. Yogi Adityanath, the Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh State, where Lucknow is located, called the death heartbreaking in a statement and offered his condolences to the grieving families of the dead. The commercial building, which has been used by multiple small companies, including as a warehouse and as a vehicle workshop, collapsed on Saturday afternoon. It was not clear if there were others still trapped. The cause of the collapse was not immediately established, but Akash Singh, who worked on the building, said the pillar had developed a crack. He had moved to the ground floor fearful it would worsen, while lashing monsoon rains battering the city. The Times of India newspaper quoted witnesses as saying that in recent days, 2 trucks collided with the building while unloading goods, possibly triggering the collapse. 4 members of the same family have died in a landslide triggered by Super Typhoon Yagi after a powerful storm ripped through Vietnam. State media said the tragedy struck in the mountainous Hoa Binh province of northern Vietnam at around midnight local time. A 51-year-old man was able to escape, but his wife, daughter and 2 grandchildren were buried when the hillside collapsed onto their house. Their bodies were recovered later. Yagi, Asia's most powerful typhoon this year, has killed at least 14 and injured 176 others, according to Vietnamese state media. It has now been downgraded to a tropical depression, but authorities are warning about the continued risk of flooding and landslide as the storm moves westward. After it made landfall in northern Vietnam on Saturday, the storm hit Hai Phong and Quang Ninh provinces with winds of up to 230 km per hour. The Indo-Pacific Tropical Cyclone Warning Center said it lifted roofs from buildings and uprooted trees, leading to power outages in the capital, Hanoi. State media said 3 people died in northern Quang Ninh province on Saturday, with another killed in Hai Dong near Hanoi. Fishermen are missing at sea. In the port city of Hai Phong, several areas were under half a meter of floodwaters on Sunday, with power lines and electric poles damaged. Lastly, on the international scene, Venezuelan opposition presidential candidate Edmundo Gonzalez is expected to arrive in Spain, where he will be granted political asylum. A Spanish Air Force plane is due to land at Torreon Air Base in Madrid. Gonzalez has departed the country at his own request, according to Spain's Minister of Foreign Affairs, José Manuel Albares. Gonzalez has been in hiding with an arrest warrant issued for him after the opposition disputed July's presidential election result, in which the government-controlled National Electoral Council asked the Spanish governor for political asylum. She said in a social media post that after voluntarily seeking refuge at the Spanish embassy in Caracas some days ago, Madrid had agreed to a safe passage. Spanish media reported that a plane carrying Gonzalez had stopped off in Portugal's Azores island and was expected in Spain in the coming hours. The Spanish Foreign Minister, José Manuel Albares, said the Spanish government was committed to the political rights of all Venezuelans and has confirmed that Gonzalez will be granted asylum. And that's it from the international scene.
And that's all we have on Galaxy Primetime News. Thank you so much.